All right, so for this clip, it's titled Mike Epps reveals, quote, he was on cocaine for most of his movies and says that he prays for Cat Williams after he exposed comedians on Shannon Sharp's podcast. So let's go ahead and, oh Lord, let's check this one out.
Yikes.
Booger sugar.
That kapow.
I've been on drugs. I've been through hell. You know what I'm saying? I did most of the movies on cocaine. All About the Benjamins. I used to sit in Ice Cube's trailer in the morning and be crying, tears. He like, Mike, wipe your face, man. You a king, nigga. Stop doing this shit to yourself. I'm sitting there wiping myself because I was I had survivor's remorse. I was so sad that I left all them niggas here in this city and I was famous. And when I would come home, I wanted them to be happy for me and they was mad at me. So I said, damn, I got to destroy myself for you to like me. I was like, damn, my favorite nigga, it seemed like he liked me more when I'm coming down off coke and I'm crying and I hate myself. He was like, oh man, I love you, nigga. I'm praying for you. But when I wasn't high and I was working out and I looked good, he's like, nigga, you think you better than me. I said, nigga, how is my success a reflection of your failure?
Man.
He said a lot in a few words, yo.
Tale as old as time. When you make it out, when you're the one who gets the courage, the ability, the luck, all of that put together to be able to muscle your way out, somehow the people who are left behind, they feel left behind. Even if you try to loop them in, you try to add them in, with your success. Oof.
Yep. And they'll never really tell you how they feel other than you paying attention to their actions, like what Mike's talking about.
Yeah.
Because obviously ain't nobody tell him that, well, other than his friends saying like, oh, you think you better than me. That's a rarity because that do be what they be thinking, but they don't say it. So they'll act funny, say slick shit.
I was going to say, you could see it in the way they look at you.
They look at you funny. They'll have slick jokes. It's a joke, but it ain't a joke type thing. All of that play into it, and then they react to you different. If you ever made it out of wherever you from, or just even if you stayed where you from, and you elevated like from shortcomings and people see that and that ain't them, they'll project sometimes. Right. Like what happened with Mike of, oh shit, you think you better than me. And then you'll see it where if you act like you're down or you show them your downside, they're fucking with you the more. They're more receptive to you because you don't look like there's no degree of separation from you and them per se. But when they can see it and feel it on you, the ones who not all the way healed or insecure, whatever the shit they dealing with within, they gonna project that shit onto you. And
people don't envy a screw up, bro. People don't envy somebody who is self-destructive, and that's really where it comes from. Funny enough, 100%. When I heard this, you know who I thought about? I didn't think about Mike Epps. I didn't think about Mike Epps' homeboys. You know who I thought about? I thought about comedians, and I thought about Kevin motherfucking Hart.
Oh, because how they did him with the homies and
because no, not even just his issue where his homie went and tried to blackmail him. Not even that. Think about what all the people who take shots at Kevin. What do they say when they take shots at him? Not that he didn't hurt anybody.
He don't ever put nobody on.
They talk about
but he got the plastic cup boy, so I never really got why they were saying that.
They say two things. They call him a plant, which is based on his success. And then they also say that to them, they're like, oh, he's not funny. He's not that talented. He thinks he's better than everybody else. He got his head in the clouds. He's this and that. But you know why they think that? When you're not on coke, when you're not falling off, when you're not having all these big public issues happening, you're not... Look at every other comedian in general. From Cat Williams and all the arrests and all the situations, who, for the most part, people aren't going to envy Cat. They're going to look at Cat and they're going to be like, damn, I love his talent, this, that, the third, but do you want to be Cat? Does seeing Cat hurt your pride? No. Think about it. When you see somebody, I compare Kevin Hart to Drake. I compare both of them to LeBron James. Seeing a nigga like that hurts your pride. You know what hurts your pride? Seeing a nigga who does all the right things. You see with Kevin and the Plastic Cup Boys. You see LeBron and Maverick Carter and all his homeboys that are Clutch Sports. You see Drake and all the OVO boys. That hurts a nigga's pride. That you can't miss. That crazy run, the amount of hits, the selling out tours, selling out arenas, doing the like breaking records and all of that. That hurts a nigga's pride.
Especially when they were secretly like preying on your downfall. Like that's really what it be boiling down to, secret animosity.
Or wanting it for themselves.
That's what I mean too. Like if they can't see it for themselves, they can't see it for you sometimes. And that's why I do understand where people say withhold your dreams and aspirations from everybody or certain people, because people are ill wish you. You'll be chopping it up with somebody that you think is a friend or family that you love, and you just telling them about stuff that you envision for yourself,
and they want everything to fail.
They'll be like, ha ha, yeah, kick it, ha kiki with you and shit like that. But in their mind, like, that nigga gonna fail, or I don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And then when they see it winning, that shit hurt, that shit bruise, and they project. And they're gonna show you if they were rooting for you or not in their actions. That's all. True. That's offended.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why a lot of times, like even with my mom, a lot of black parents, like you'll hear growing up, like, don't tell everybody your plans, because unfortunately, like you got people that will literally pray for your downfall. We ain't praying to the same God, but they will still pray for your downfall. And it's like that's so sad. And you see it with family, you see it with everything. It's like you do something for yourself that you think is something good, and they're like, oh, really? But then you tell them something where it's like, yeah, I messed up with this, and oh, really? Like the tone is completely different.
They hella engaged when you got bad news, but when you talking about all this good stuff, it sound like you bragging because they hating on the inside.
How about
this?
You know what
I mean?
Also, if they see somebody else have good news, but that person is normally a fuck up, or that person is somebody who their good news doesn't hurt because you don't see them as nothing.
You so used to you can't wait for them to fail because you know it's gonna happen.
No. The opposite. What I'm saying is they see somebody who fails all the time, right? Mm-hmm. If that person has good news,
it's not gonna last.
It's not gonna last. Mm-hmm. It's this. It's that.
That's just for now.
Yep.
Or they'll like blame it on something else. Oh, this only happened because she messing with this new guy. Or
bro, when I left my town, the little undertones, I still remember that too. Message, bitch. When you leave your town and they like, oh, you'll be back.
Ooh,
I had that happen.
Did I come back?
I had that happen.
I did visit though.
Moving up here again, and certain cousins just we don't rock like that anymore. And I moved to Orlando once. It didn't work out, and now I'm back up here. And their first thing was, "Oh, she's moving up there again." Mm-hmm. Oh, you'll come back home or stuff like that. Like, excuse me.
And that's why the people don't like crabs in the bucket and being referencing to our people, but we just talking about our people right now. In general. It's a people thing in general, but we just speaking on us. Mm-hmm. This is what we used to seeing, and that's why it's a disconnect sometimes. The people who are elevating and the people who are trying to elevate have a disconnect sometimes because a lot of them don't have well wishes for others that are ahead of them. They're like, damn, they got everything I want, and I don't see it for me, so fuck them.
Yeah, bringing it back to Mike Epps, the reason why I brought that up is because I find the irony in like him having such deep emotions, deeply rooted emotions, looking at something like that. But
he got his shit up.
But it's funny because you did the same thing that you're mad at your boys for doing. I've seen you do it to Kat. I've seen you do it to Kevin. I've seen you do it to Shannon Sharp just a few weeks ago.
Get to it.
Like the same thing that he's mad at them for doing, where it's like, oh wow, you doing X, Y, and Z, and you want them to be happy for you, but instead they kick you while you down. When Shannon Sharp had that viral interview with Cat Williams, where Cat Williams didn't say nothing negative about Mike Epps, nobody did. Mm-hmm. But what did Mike Epps do?
He said, "I pray for that brother because I know."
He said that now. Before he was taking shots. That's why he had to go and do a public apology on his IG Live. Okay. That's when he took those shots at Shannon and lied about, Shannon tried to get me on that couch, and I was like, no, Medea, and all of that, like, tried to make it look, yeah. But that's the thing. It's funny watching somebody be a victim of something that they put out in the world and not even realize, like, you're not even realizing that you're doing that to other people.
Yeah, that's real. If you put out hate, if you hate on somebody and then it happened to you, it's hard to have people feel bad for you because you did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, as far as the cocaine part, Not gonna lie, it's not unbelievable. Like you look at those.
All About the Benjamins, one of my favorites. I know he was on some shit in All About the Benjamins.
Literally.
And a lot of his.
You seen the way he ran? And they said, "Book him."
It's funny because a lot of his performances, the reason why you laughed, because there's a lot of physical comedy. It's not just verbal. A lot of it was coke activities. Like
next Friday, he couldn't put his clothes on.
Yeah,
players fuck up.
Yeah, like a lot of his stuff was just like.
Cocaine
now that you're looking at it, you're like, these are cokehead mannerisms.
Cokehead mannerisms for sure.
It's interesting, but a lot of the funniest niggas of all time have had the same habit. You know, God bless the dead, Richard Pryor.
And he said Richard Pryor is his all-time favorite. So I could see where
you can see it. The nigga look like Richard Pryor.
And you could see it. I still hope he get the role.
He's never gonna get the role.
It's probably a dub because of everything that happened, but it would have been dope.
Richard Pryor's wife hates Mike Epps.
Yeah,
and he's never getting that.
And I don't know if he was joking on the podcast about what he said, but I don't know if he was joking, but it's still funny. Which is just some wild shit to say in general.
That's
you know what I mean.
I ain't gonna touch that. But
Mike went crazy. It was a good podcast, hella funny.
Yeah, anybody who wants to check that out, that was definitely a good watch. Hilarious.
He got a lot of shit off. It seemed like it was therapy for him, but I don't know how to feel, but I do have some empathy towards him, feeling a little sad now that he got on TV. I mean, on the podcast Up in Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and feeling like his wife got mad or something like that.
Yeah, because
he said he never treated a woman right and all of that, and I guess his wife didn't react well to that, and Mike hence had a meltdown and got online and saying
he never wants to do an interview again.
I wish I never got on the stupid podcast and stuff like that. This is why XYZ and stuff like that. That stuff I could understand, because when you do a podcast and you put out content, those are those thoughts sometimes. Some people don't give a fuck. They say what they say and they sleep great at night, but some people will think about like, damn, I wish I didn't say that. I wish I ain't laugh like that. I wish I ain't crack that joke. That's human. That's human.
What got him in trouble, though, I'm going to tell you this. The average person doesn't have much to worry about if they're podcasting, because for the most part, unless you are living a double life or have certain things going on.
You could still wish you didn't say some shit, though.
Yeah, but him wishing that he didn't say something specifically, he also posted a public apology to his wife for what he specifically said in that podcast.
Because he wished he didn't say it.
It's not, what I'm saying is, it's not that she's mad at him for saying he never treated a woman right before. There's other undertones of what he was saying and the way that he was talking where you could tell, and my first thought was, doesn't he have a wife? Was my first thought, because there's a lot of things he was
talking as if she wasn't there.
Not just wasn't there. He was talking as if like, well, in the future, or with my next woman, there was a lot of references on some like.
He was talking about her as if she was, like I said, she wasn't there, and
or as if they were broken up
or non-existent, as if he don't have a current girl or whatever.
And you got to be careful with stuff like that.
I could see where his woman, especially since she was sitting right there, would have been dead ass offended like that. So that ain't even a gender thing. I could see where she was upset about that.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying a lot of those types of things, I can see where people will get in trouble with that. You gotta be careful, man.
Certain shit you just don't say, but that's where, what coming in podcasting or interviewing in general, certain shit, if you don't feel like you got the wherewithal to think about the shit you say, you might want to write shit down that you don't want to touch on so you can save yourself.
That's a fact.
That's a lot. It's not a lot to do, but it's a lot to do when you're moving and grooving, I could imagine, but it could prevent situations like this where you done said some shit that have fucked up your home and you didn't even have to really touch it. Yeah, because he didn't have to talk about it at all, but they're interviewing him. I was going to say,
because it wasn't based on a question that was asked.
Nah, he was literally just talking.
It was him talking, so.
Which you could tell he needed to get a lot of shit off his chest.
Yeah, well, go to therapy.
It was hella entertaining though. Tap in with that.
Yeah, definitely. If you looking for a good pod with some quick laughs, especially Mike Epps did his thing on All the Smoke.
For sure.